If you work in sales, own a business, or use your voice to close deals, then you know how daunting it can be to have to put together a presentation or a pitch that actually lands. Because we're always trying to hit that sweet spot, right? Where it's persuasive but not too pushy. It's got enough strategy and creativity to still be credible. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down a pitch that we delivered for a six-figure event. I'm going to tell you the thinking that went into it, why we did what we did, and what you can learn to apply to your own pitches and presentations. Now, to be completely transparent, I am still under NDA, which means I cannot name the brand or show you the deck itself, but I can tell you the story of what we did, how we did it, and how you can apply these tips and tricks to your own presentations and pitches. But I also do have these images from a certain event that we did that we may or may not have pitched on. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing something with you that you can use to make your next pitch or presentation that much better, no matter what it is that you're selling. Now, we have to begin with the most important step that I think most people often overlook when building a high-stakes presentation or pitch. Before you design a single slide or write a single word of copy, you need to answer these three deceptively simple questions. 1. Where are they now? Which means, where's your audience right now? What is their life like currently? What are their pains? What are their problems? What are they dealing with? If you don't know these things, you're going to spend a lot of time guessing the kind of content that you need to add into your presentation. 2. Where do I want them to be? This refers to the transformation that you're trying to offer here. They walked in believing one thing and they're going to walk out believing something else. Maybe it's a mindset shift. Maybe it's a change of habit. But whatever it is, you need to be specific on exactly where they need to be when they walk away. Thirdly, what is my victory condition? In plain English, what does success look like? Is it a signed deal? Is it a follow-up meeting? Maybe it's more leads. Maybe it's a behavioral change. Whatever it is, it needs to be something you can measure, because if you cannot measure the outcome, you cannot design for the outcome. Now let's apply those questions to the six-figure pitch that we built and see how it works in action. Now, just for context, this is for a smartphone brand, a huge global name looking to launch a new flagship product in the country. And so we were pitching for the responsibility of producing and managing their official flagship launch event. So where they were at the time was a brilliant marketing team with deep expertise on their product, but zero technical know-how on how to produce and manage an event of that magnitude. Where we wanted them to be at the end of our pitch was to feel like they already had a full event mapped and planned right in front of them. It was fully visualized, fully planned, and fully executable, whether they chose to work with us or not. And our victory condition was a follow-up meeting, because in our world, a follow-up means that we've won the job. They wouldn't have accepted that meeting in the first place if they already hadn't said yes. And so for us, that kind of clarity guided everything that we did from this point onwards. Once we had our destination fully planned out, we began building the pitch using a framework that we've been using for almost a decade. And I call it the 4 L's. Look, lean, learn, and leap. In simple terms, give me something to care about, give me a reason to believe in you, teach me something I can use, and show me what to do next. Those are the 4 steps of any great piece of communication. This is a framework that keeps all of your content structured around human behavior. Now, I've got a completely separate video on this channel talking about that framework in a lot more detail than I can go into here, so I would highly recommend checking that video out. So for this project, the look phase of our pitch, which is giving them a reason to care, meant that we needed to find a theme that matched the brand's personality and the campaign that they were already trying to build. So the biggest mistakes we make when delivering a pitch is showing up with a poorly packaged idea or something that is still open to discussion. That's not leadership. What we need to do is present a fully polished idea that's ready to go tomorrow if they say yes today. So in this case, the campaign was centered around magic and the magical capabilities of the AI on the phone and the technology built into the camera. So we leaned all the way into that idea, meaning all the visuals were inspired by the feelings of magic and wonder, and we even proposed illusionists within the event itself to make the idea and the theme more visceral, so you could feel it when you're actually there. And so when you have an idea, the foundation of a story that goes from the pitch itself all the way into the product or whatever it is that you're talking about, you have one cohesive story. And so what happens is when your pitch starts to connect to one another under one theme, that's when it stops looking like a PowerPoint presentation and starts looking more like a vision. Now, when the time came to deliver the pitch, I did what I recommend to as many people as I possibly can, and that's to have someone else introduce you to the room. When you have someone introduce you on your behalf, what that means for you is less time talking about yourself and more time spent on your hook, your introduction, and setting up the pitch exactly how you wrote it. So I told the story of the little black dress to open my pitch. A famous designer who once created what would become the ever so iconic little black dress. A simple and elegant piece that definitely wasn't the first dress ever made, but it was definitely one of the most iconic dresses ever made, and eventually became something that you had to have in your wardrobe. This is a story of taking something that already existed and elevating it through timeless design. And that's exactly what this smartphone brand wanted to do, was to take the phone itself and not make the first smartphone, but make an iconic one instead. So the little black dress was a perfect story because it hooked them and it was unique and fresh and it positioned them as the hero of the story. And that's how you get people to care, by making them see themselves in the story that you're pitching or presenting to them. Another thing we absolutely obsessed over was transitions, meaning that every section and every point needed to either visually or verbally flow into one another quite seamlessly. We even used a big "why am I telling you this" slide as a little cheat code segue from one point to another. It gives the audience a second to breathe and it connects what just happened to what's about to happen next. And so when your flow and your presentation is smooth, people can stay with you a lot longer. And if it's disjointed and confusing, then you lose them a lot faster, even if your content is amazing. So the golden rule of pitching: show, don't tell. Because anyone can walk you through bullet points and texts and features and benefits, but the really great communicators can make you feel and see what it's like. So for our client, we didn't just describe the event through bullet points and text. We actually recreated the venue in 3D in a one-to-one scale so that we could walk them through every single detail as if they were already there. Now, you don't need a 3D team to make all your fancy designs and everything look amazing. But what you need to do is ask yourself a simple question: how can I make them see this differently? How can I tell the story in a creative way? And we do that often by showing more visuals, telling more stories, painting clearer pictures for our audiences. Because the more vividly they can imagine what you're talking about, the more real it becomes. And then they start to trust that you are the right person to bring that idea to life. So the goal of any pitch is not to be perfect, it's to be complete. When your pitch has a clear progression, it has a story, the visuals make sense, and your transitions are seamless, that's what makes people feel like saying yes is the next logical step. And that's exactly what happened in this case. We got the follow-up meeting, we closed the deal, and that's everything that went into building a six-figure pitch presentation. Now, I have a link in the description for you, which is a free 7-day email course. So every single day for 7 days, I'm going to send you one habit that's secretly destroying your communication skills. I'm going to teach you how to fix it. So by the end of the week, you're going to be a clearer, more articulate speaker and be more in control of the way people see you. And the link for that is in the description. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and gently tickle the like button because it really helps us out a lot. And if you want to learn more frameworks and some more techniques on pitching and speaking and presentations, then you should definitely check out this video right here.